Seattle's iconic Space Needle provides the stunning backdrop to the new home of the Seattle Reign. Memorial Stadium first opened in 1947. Today its gates open for the second season of the National Women's Soccer League. It's an East versus West matchup as the Reign face the Boston Breakers at Moda Health Pitch. Great to have you with us, everyone. Along with David Wharton, I'm Tom Glasgow. Terrific day for soccer in Seattle. Great weather to get this season underway. And for the Seattle Reign, David, it's a whole new look. A team that finished second to last a year ago. They've gone through a lot of changes.
Absolutely. And not only do they have their allocated players from the U.S. national team back, but they've got national team players from all over the world up and down the roster. It's going to make for an exciting year.
One of those international players from the U.S. squad, a former Boston Breaker, a great scorer in Sydney Leroux.
On a team full of personalities, she's a big personality, and she has got pace for days and days. She's going to be on the sharp end of the attack this year, and she's going to she scored 11 goals for Boston last year, and she's going to make a big contribution for the Reign this year.
Reign had some issues defensively last season, did not register a single shutout, but anchoring that defense, they've got one of the best keepers on the planet in Hope Solo.
The best keeper in the entire world. She's back and healthy for the entire season this year. She's going to shore things up for him.
Boston, a lot of changes as well, starting at the top with their new head coach, Tom Durkin, on board. It's going to be very interesting to see what he can do.
Well, this team is a mirror image of the Reign, as a matter of fact, because they're very strong up front, and there are a lot of questions at the back. It's going to be interesting today to see who can draw first blood.
And up front, a U.S. international, a talented player in Heather O'Reilly.
Heather O'Reilly is a great assist generator. She's had over 200 caps with the U.S. national team. She's just she's going to be the center point of their attack this year.
Great to have you with us again. It's East versus West, two teams hoping to make a statement in Game 1, Boston and Seattle here at Memorial Stadium. And we are underway in Seattle. The Seattle Reign against the Boston Breakers. Again, the Reign coached by their GM as well, Laura Harvey. Tom Durkin leading the way on the sidelines for the Breakers in their road white jerseys. New kits this season for the Reign as Megan Rapinoe is fouled, as they have a black and blue color scheme here at home in Seattle. Off the free kick, Stephanie Cox, U.S. international player, ahead to Rapinoe. And good defense by the Breakers. Get to the starting lineups in just a moment. Leanne Sanderson momentarily had a touch for Boston. Of course, first game of the season, David, everybody just trying to settle in. Both of these clubs in the preseason facing collegiate competition, so certainly a step up in speed and competition here for the opening game.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the level of competition they've gotten facing college players isn't anything compared to facing off against other NWSL talent.
Leroux serving it in, and it'll be a goal kick for Boston.
You could see the Reign early on trying to work the flanks, trying to play in Megan Rapinoe to start with, and now trying to get in Sydney Leroux behind the left back of the Boston Breakers.
Let's give you the starting lineup right now for the Boston Breakers. Alyssa Nair in goal. Her defensive line, Julie King, Courtney Jones, Kat Whitehill, Jasmine Avant. The midfield, Joanna Lohman, Kaylin Kyle, the former Reign player, and Leanne Sanderson. And up front for Tom Durkin, Katie Schepfer, Heather O'Reilly, and the rookie Molly Pathman. Pino with a header. This is Bev Goebel, one of the new players for Seattle. Played last season in Kobe, Japan.
Yeah, Bev has not taken a traditional path to soccer success. I mean, she played at the University of Miami, not known as a soccer powerhouse. She played in Finland, and now she's played in Japan. Here she is back in the United States.
Kim Little, number 8 with the touch. There's Cox. It'll be a throw-in near touchline for the Breakers. Avant to throw in. Goes back to Courtney Jones. Nice touch by Lohman. The Breakers trying to get something going here. Schepfer. And the cross intended for Pathman. And a foul, and that'll go against Megan Rapinoe. And dangerous situation coming up for the Reign defensively.
You can see that lack of communication. I mean, first game of the season, the Reign wanted to play it out on the, Stephanie Cox wanted to play it out on the ground, and Megan Rapinoe's throwing her thumb up over her shoulder saying, no, play that ball long, play that ball long. Reign got caught a little bit. They want to set a higher line this year, and Breakers managed to get in behind.
Pathman was targeting Heather O'Reilly, but the play blown dead by our referee, Katja Koroliva. Pathman into the box, dangerous ball, and cleared out by Seattle. Early on, the best scoring opportunity for either club in this match. Cox with the header. Rapinoe unable to keep it in play. Let's give you the starting lineup for Seattle. In goal, it's Hope Solo. The defensive line, Stephanie Cox, Lauren Barnes, Kendall Fletcher, Ellie Reed. The midfielders, Jess Fishlock, Keelan Winters, and Kim Little. And up front, Megan Rapinoe, Sydney LaRue, and Bev Goebel. And it's Goebel on the chase of a Boston pass. Whitehill feeding it down to O'Reilly, unable to keep it in play. It'll be a Seattle throw-in. Seattle last season, David, we saw the terrible start they got off to, unable to win in the first 10 matches, 9 of those losses. But as you touched on in the open, the 3 national players from the U.S. team not available. Amy Rodriguez not available all season due to pregnancy. Hope Solo early on rehabbing a wrist injury. And Megan Rapinoe was in France playing for Lyon. So a huge difference having those players back. And here comes Boston on the counter. O'Reilly. And Keelan Winters breaking up the pass.
And that's what Heather O'Reilly gives you. She gets down the flank and serves the ball into the middle, and you need that runner in the middle. Without Lisa Devanna for the Breakers available today, someone's going to have to get into the top of the box and put that ball away.
Ball sent into the 18-yard box. Hope Solo will track it down. Hope on Thursday night in goal for the U.S. against China. International friendly in San Diego, her 150th cap. Lauren Barnes playing it ahead to Cox as she got forward from her defensive line position. Rapinoe takes the ball away from Pathman. Rapinoe with the shot and the save by Alyssa Nair. Best opportunity the Reign have had so far.
It's a good job to win the ball back high up the field, take the short route to goal, see if she can bury it low on the far side and get us off on the right foot. And Nair with the wind at her back, launching that kick.
Riley being harassed by Winters. Sanderson. Pathman Avant on the near touchline and unable to get the quality on that cross she was looking for.
You know, the Reign are going to be challenged this first half. You've got the wind blowing in their faces and the sun in their eyes. The Reign backline is not blessed with great height. I think that the Breakers are going to try and get the ball down the flanks and whip it in and see whether or not they can use some of their height advantage and some of the sort of the atmospheric effects to their advantage.
Lohman, Avant, Sanderson ahead to Pathman. Ollie Pathman, the rookie out of Duke. Deflected by Lauren Barnes. Here comes Little. Played in England at Arsenal. It's been a few seasons playing there for Laura Harvey, the head coach of the Reign. So Laura knows exactly what she has in Kim Little, and that's a terrific talent. 2013 Player of the Year in England.
I think Laura counts on her to be able to help them keep possession. One of the big challenges they had last year is they couldn't hold the ball at all up front. That put that rather inexperienced backline under a tremendous amount of pressure. This year, with all of the firepower and all of the experience they have up top, it ought to take some of the pressure off that backline.
Winters with a takeaway. And the Breakers get a ride back. Sanderson. Schepfer. Kaylin Kyle. Not a good first touch by Kaylin, and Seattle trying to take advantage. Rapinoe. And a corner kick coming up for the Reign as Kate Whitehill poked it out.
That was a great defensive play by the Reign. Every one of the Breakers' first touches were under pressure. They were completely contested. They did a great job then winning the ball and getting forward very, very quickly. Put the Breakers under a tremendous amount of stress.
Good job by Kat Whitehill to get that ball out. Rapinoe to take the corner. Far post, and Barnes unable to keep it in. May have been one where Megan's trying to gauge the wind, and
it's probably also a little bit of early season nerves. I mean, obviously Megan can serve a ball. We've seen that before in even in the 2011 World Cup. She hit just a phenomenal ball. You know she can send a ball into the box. She just got a little too much of that one.
Thursday night against China, she assisted on the goal scored by Sydney Leroux early in the second half. Third and final goal for the Americans in the 3-0 victory against China. First game they played under their interim head coach, at least for now. Interim label for Jill Ellis.
And I think every Reign fan got chills when that ball came in for Megan, and Sydney was able to stick it in the back of the net, hoping that was foreshadowing of things to come.
Rapinoe with the header. Goebel. Leroux. Drop to Winters. And Ellie Reed on the overlap. Into the box. Rapinoe. Little. Trying to find some room. Well defended by the Breakers. Lohman clearing it out to Pathman. Good early action here in Seattle. The opening game for these clubs in the NWSL.
That was great early pressure by Cox. She forced the Breakers to take 2-3 touches, pass the ball around a little bit, allowed the Reign to recover when so many of them were forward inside the 18-yard box.
Cox unable to control. Throw in Boston. Stephanie Cox last season had a little bit of the tail end of the Reign campaign after she gave birth to her daughter. And back in very good form now. Is with the national team for those matches against China.
Yeah, she added some great experience when she came back, but it was clear that she wasn't quite match fit. Hopefully this year she'll be able to play all 90 minutes at the level that we all know she's capable of.
Sanderson directly to Hope Solo. And she was looking for more of a cross outside of that 6-yard box.
Yeah, you saw her hold her hand up afterwards. That was not the ball she wanted to hit.
Rapinoe ahead to Little, showing some pace. And Little unable to keep it in. Well defended by Boston. Nicely done that time by Courtney Jones. Courtney's dad, Brent Jones, former tight end for the San Francisco 49ers, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. So when you grow up in that house, you certainly know what athletic success is all about.
Absolutely. Well, and Keelan Winters' dad being Brian Winters, there's a lot of good athletic genes on the field at the moment.
Brian Winters, an outstanding NBA player, spent a good portion of his time as a player with the Milwaukee Bucks, went on to become a head coach in the league. Well played by Cox. Back to Hope Solo.
Hope's just so good coming off her line. She knows when to come, and she's so authoritative when she comes to get it.
U.S. national team players had about 12 practices. Ball played up toward Little. And nicely done that time by Kat Whitehill. Sanderson double teamed, and it'll be a throw into Seattle. Cox quickly into Rapinoe. Flag is up, and it'll be a throw in for Boston.
It's really end-to-end action right now. Again, both teams with a lot of attacking talent want to get forward as quickly as they can, want to be the first team to score, want to be the team that sets the tone for this new season.
Avant into Kyle. Kaylin, talked to her before the match, said she really enjoyed her time in Seattle last season, but primarily with Seattle, played on the defensive back. She's a natural midfielder, so for her, this move to Boston, a positive one. She gets to play a position she's more comfortable with, and that'll certainly help her in terms of her preparation to play for Canadian national team in next year's World Cup, hosted, of course, by Canada.
Yeah, and I think she clearly wants to feature at that position for the Canadian national team. So being in a spot where she gets to use her ability, particularly in distribution, I think in central midfield is key for her, a key career move for her.
Megan Rapinoe fouled. Free kick coming up for Seattle.
The individual pace of the Raid players is giving the Breakers some problems, and you can see it's resulting in a couple of early fouls.
Barnes to take it. You can see her shielding her eyes, looking directly into the sun. Plays it into the 18. Kyle heads it out. Moment ahead to O'Reilly, and just fish luck. Got it back in play. She is small. She is feisty. She is non-stop. National player for Wales. Real lightning rod for this Reign squad. Nice tackle that time. Takeaway by Kyle. And a foul called against Seattle.
Megan didn't like losing that ball. She just nipped in, tried to put a little pressure on the serves to see if she could get it back, and unfortunately she got a little too much of Kaylin Kyle.
We mentioned the offensive struggles that Seattle had a season ago. Megan Rapinoe played in roughly half the matches, and when all was said and done, she was Seattle's top goal scorer with 5. So she had an instant impact with the team. And they'll certainly, for more of that offensive presence she delivers. I would imagine, though, David, more in a setup role than maybe a goal-scoring role this season because of the talent that surrounds her.
Absolutely. I mean, she's going to want to get the ball to Bev Goebel. She's going to want to get the ball to Sydney Leroux. She's going to want to get the ball to Kawasumi when she's on the field. She's going to have plenty of opportunities to create assists.
Avant playing it back. Pathman to Kyle. Winters with a header. Rapinoe with control.
I think that also points out, though, that Seattle just didn't have a consistent scoring threat up front, and so when Megan came on, she had to be the one scoring goals.
Yeah.
She didn't have the ball. She didn't have the player to lay the ball off to.
Breeze kicking up here in Seattle. Goebel and King competing for that ball. You mentioned the very windy conditions. You're probably hearing some of that from Seattle. Gorgeous day, but we're in a little bit of a wind tunnel here. That cross, ineffective that time for Boston, and it'll be a goal kick for Hope Solo.
It's the time of the day when the wind really comes off of Puget Sound and whips its way across Seattle. I think we're all used to it kicking up right about now.
Barnes ahead to Cox. Ahead looking for Sydney Leroux. Jones with it, and she plays it back to Nair. Beautiful job controlling that ball by Rapinoe. Here's Fishlock. Rain will switch it. Kim Little. Ahead for Goebel. She's onside. And the shot didn't get all the power into that she wanted to, but good effort that time for the Reign.
It was a tough angle. It was always going to be hard for her to bury that shot from there, but it's good to see that ball getting in behind the outside back.
Sanderson trying to control. There's Joanna Lohman. O'Reilly pushed from behind, drops. Solo out to Little in her neighborhood anyway. Katie Schepfer. And there you can see the struggles of Hope Solo kicking into that strong wind right now. Rapinoe ahead, terrific ball. Here's Goebel. There's Sydney Leroux. Back heels, no. Kim Little has some room. Little the shot. No, saved by Nair. Two terrific opportunities that time for the Reign, but the Boston defense, led by Alyssa Nair, rising to the occasion.
Phenomenal pace by the Reign front runners. They caught the back line up flat, and the midfield just played that ball through. Bev Goebel runs onto it, has the vision to see Sydney Leroux cutting into the front of the box. Sydney wasn't able to get a first-time touch on it, but she was able to hold it up, and Kim Little almost finally fired it home.
Bev Goebel fouled. Free kick coming up for the Reign. Seattle last season just 5 wins, 14 losses, 3 draws, finishing in 7th place out of the 8 teams in the league. The Breakers 8 wins, 6 draws, 8 losses, as they finished 1 spot back of a playoff position. Of course, Kat Whitehill finished the season as player coach after Lisa Cole was relieved of her duties. Rapinoe. Sanderson there. Boston looking to counter. Lohman. Boston throw in. Breakers will do it again as Keelan Winters headed the ball out.
I have to say, so far, I'm really impressed with Stephanie Cox's composure. I mean, right now she is just not getting beat 1v1 at all, and she's doing a good job of making sure that in possession of the ball, that she's getting it forward.
Breakers switching. Jones. Up ahead to Schepfer. Cox playing it forward in the direction of Leroux. Jones surveys the pitch. Comes near touchline Avant. Sanderson harassed by Fishlock. And LaRue was fouled. Kicked in the foot. And Rapinoe looking for a quick restart over to Winters. Kendall Fletcher.
They started Sydney out wide, looking to get her in behind. Now she's slid to the middle of the field. I think they want her in front of the goal more.
And Rapinoe in the area of Kim Little, and a throw-in coming up for the Reign.
Kim Little's the other player who's really impressed me so far. I mean, she's shown tremendous pace and tremendous range. She's really, really asking a lot of questions of that Breakers backline.
Whitehill getting it away from Bev Goebel. Here's Little. The end of the box. Vaughn got a head on it. Cox keeps it in. Room for Little. Kim Little, Scottish international. Rapinoe shoots. Oh, terrific save and off the post. Nair got a hand on it, then off the post. But a terrific strike that time by Megan Rapinoe.
And a brilliant save by Nair. I mean, she's completely unsighted. That's a really, really well struck ball by Megan Rapinoe. And for Nair to get over and get a touch on that and push it off the post is just phenomenal.
The closest we've come to a goal here in the first half. In the 25th minute of play. Sanderson in the corner. And another throw-in coming up for the Breakers. Quick touch by O'Reilly. And flag is up for offsides.
It's really the first possession the Breakers have had down in the Reign's half of the field for a while. Reign doing a really good job of holding possession up high and then establishing pressure in the Breakers half.
O'Reilly. A footed shot on Solo. Great to have you with us from Memorial Stadium in Seattle, the Moda Health pitch on this sunny Sunday afternoon, with the wind kicking up as Boston and Seattle open their second seasons in the National Women's Soccer League. Winners with possession. A little too strong on the touch as she was trying to release Megan Rapinoe. Nair with a goal kick. Started 8 of 9 games she appeared in last season for the Breakers. Had a record of 4-2-2. Grad of Penn State. Here's O'Reilly with some room. The cross. Pathman. And the foul will go against Molly Pathman. Good look right there at number 3, Lauren Barnes. Lauren out of Upland, California, played collegiately at UCLA. Experience with the U.S. U20 and U23 clubs. Had 1 assist for the team last season out of the defensive back line. Here's Lohman. Avant.
And you can see what the Reign want to do. Every time a Breakers player gets the ball, there's somebody to put pressure on them right away so they cannot play forward.
Just move that time by Kaylin Kyle. A lot of room in the midfield for Kaylin. Cleared out that time by Kendall Fletcher. And the throw-in will go to the Reign. The Reign hoping to take advantage of a very home-heavy schedule to open this season. Their first 3 matches here at Memorial Stadium. Sanderson, guarded by Reed, looking for O'Reilly. Couldn't make the connection, and Little with the ball for Seattle. Whitehill. Comes O'Reilly in the box. Heather O'Reilly. Lohman off the top post. Off the crossbar, Joanna Lohman, and the Reign dodging a bullet right there. Terrific push forward, and the service by Heather O'Reilly.
And that's what makes her so dangerous. She can push the ball down to the end line and find players in the middle. Reign are going to have to do a better job of marking that back post.
And Heather O'Reilly to take the corner. First corner this afternoon for the Breakers. And Solo had a beat on it. And she'll feed it out, and Seattle will try to counter. Rapinoe with the switch. Looking for Cox. And Boston doing a good job recovering defensively.
There's the quality for Megan Rapinoe, though. She gets the ball down the right flank. She's able to send it across the field for Barnes running on.
That was actually Fletcher 13, not Cox 14. That last play for Seattle. LaRue blocked by Boston. Sanderson up ahead. Schepfer. Overlap. O'Reilly. And Kendall Fletcher recovers to kick the ball out.
That's a better job by the Reign of recovering. They managed to maintain the integrity of their line as they were dropping back into the 18-yard box. Even if O'Reilly had gotten on that ball, she really would have had to hold it up a little bit longer in order to see if she could get some of her other attacking players to join in, because there really was nobody in the box for her except for blue and black shirts. Goebel's doing just such a good job of chasing the ball down, putting pressure, and making sure that the Breakers' back line isn't able to play quickly into the front.
Kat Whitehill on the push forward. That dangerous ball cleared out by Seattle.
It's a better job again by the Reign back line of making sure that they've got numbers around the penalty spots when that ball gets swung in. There's somebody there to play it away.
Avant
plays that ball away nervously with Sydney LaRue bearing down on her.
Lohman, who had the near goal just moments ago. Goebel trying to find some space, and does. And then Ellie Reed with the long ball, no one home, and there will bring it back into the 18.
Well, he's just relieving a little pressure there, giving the Reign players a chance to breathe.
Avant. Sanderson. Nice touch by Rapinoe. Offside, Goebel. Good combination, though, that time, David, for the Reign.
Absolutely. Megan Rapinoe just so smart, just lays the ball into Ellie Reed's path. Ellie does exactly what she should do, which is to play the ball early behind the back line, let Bev Goebel run onto it. She's just a shade offsides, and otherwise she's in on goal.
Throw in Seattle. Little Goes down, gets herself back up. Working on Kaylin Kyle. And earns the corner for Seattle.
Kim Little has really impressed me so far. Her range has really done a lot to push the breakers back. And the other thing it's doing, though, is it's letting Jess Fishlock sit a little deeper and cover for the Reign backline a little bit more.
Second corner kick for the Reign. Fishlock. All deflected by Boston. Pathman. Taken away by Schepfer, and here's Heather O'Reilly trying to lead a breakaway for Boston. And a foul going against Seattle.
Yeah, Keelan pulled her back. She knew that she should have played that ball away first time. She was just trying to slow her down because she knew that that if she didn't, the back line of the Reign was going to be under tremendous amount of pressure.
Sanderson. Avant. Offside flag is up. Two near goals, one for each club here in the first half, but we remain scoreless in Seattle. The Boston Breakers in white taking on the Seattle Reign. Rapinoe ahead. Offside is LaRue. And the Breakers quickly back at Seattle. Fishlock, terrific tackle and takeaway. Then Jess playing ahead for Rapinoe. And Nair had to come out and end the threat.
You can see how the Reign's movement, though, just asks so many questions of a team. You've got so many dynamic players moving diagonally across the field, down the line.
Here's Goebel to Little with room. Kim Little, the shot over the crossbar. Set up nicely that time by Bev Goebel was Kim Little.
And there it is again. You've got a player showing for the ball underneath. She collects it, lays it off to Kim Little, making a diagonal run in front of the box. And the Breakers just cannot track that pace.
Kim was playing for Scotland in Bosnia on Thursday and just landed in Seattle yesterday. Whitehill heads it back to Nair.
Yeah, the assortment of talent that Laura Harvey has been able to assemble here is just phenomenal. Scottish internationals, Welsh internationals, Japanese internationals. It's just tremendous.
Big collision, Rapinoe that time with Whitehill. Certainly they know each other very well. Keelan Winters brings it near touchline to Stephanie Cox. And LaRue is fouled by Avant.
That's certainly one way to slow Sydney LaRue down, is make sure she's on the ground.
Sydney LaRue busy with the national team as well in terms of minutes played with that goal on Thursday night. That was her 29th goal for the U.S. team in 50 appearances. Played 76 minutes on Thursday, and then a week ago, last Sunday against China, played the full 90 minutes. Kendall Fletcher going down in the box, pleading her case, no call.
Yeah, a little bit of a shove, a little bit of a mix-up in the box there, but you're not going to get that call.
Jones looking for O'Reilly. Reed playing it back in for Seattle. Reed to throw in. Into the 38th minute here in the first half. Seattle and Boston scoreless. Winners. Big collision that time with Avant. Sanderson looking ahead to Pathman. Barnes there, plays it back to Solo. Kyle. O'Reilly. Joanna Lohman. Room for Sanderson. Good quick touch. Lohman couldn't get to the ball, though, and a goal kick for Seattle.
It was a little too slow of a ball by Jess Fishlock, and it kind of hung Keelan Winters out to dry, and now Keelan's laboring a little bit with the after effects of that rather solid tackle.
Cox to throw it in. Kim Little. Good job defensively that time by Kaylin Kyle. A good switch by the Breakers. Unable to save it, though, is Julie King. Very clever by Megan Rapinoe. Nice touch that time by Sanderson.
Yeah, Megan's just one of those players. She not only wants to beat you, she wants to make you look silly doing it.
Well, if you have the skill set, right, might as well use it.
It's what makes her so fun to watch. I mean, to my mind, she's one of the most creative players in the world, probably the most fun player to watch in the world.
Foul that time committed by Jess Fishlock. She's a very aggressive player. Led the team last season with 4 yellow cards.
She will never come out second best on a challenge like that.
Does not back down. Prior to this NWSL season, she was down playing with the Melbourne Victory in the Australian W League, helped lead that team to the championship. Little trying to find an outlet. You can see some of her skills brought down. That foul is going to go against Pathman. Free kick for Seattle. Fishlock. Little to Rapinoe. And Reed could not control that pass from Megan Rapinoe. Goal kick coming up for Boston.
Little bit unexpected there. Ellie couldn't quite get her foot on it. Jess Fishlock made a great deep run, and Kim Little just could not get her the ball, unfortunately, because she was through.
Fishlock controlling. Reed ahead to Rapinoe. And just that deft touch of Megan Rapinoe looking for Little. The ball headed that time by Boston defensively by Kat Whitehill.
If she doesn't get Kat Whitehill doesn't get a touch on that. Kim Little is one-on-one with Nair. This has not been a first half wanting for chances.
Yeah.
Certainly the Reign have had their opportunities, but Breakers probably had the best chance of all off the underside of the bar. Lucky to not have it go in. Both teams probably feeling a little bit fortunate that it's stuck at 0-0 right now. Or unfortunate not to be up a goal.
Fishlock. Nicely done by Jess. Looking for some room. Trying to dump it off to Little, and Fishlock is fouled. And Avant.
the way Jess Fishlock plays is just an amazing extension of her personality. I mean, it just puts a smile on your face to watch her play. And if you want a smile on your face every day, you should follow her on Twitter, because she treats social media like she treats a soccer ball, with a lot of energy, with a lot of verve, with a lot of life.
And Jasmine Avant is booked. Little with a free kick. Into the 44th minute. Keelan Winters. Kaylin Kyle got a deflection on it. Good opportunity that time for the midfielder, Keelan Winters. Denied by her teammate of last season, Kaylin Kyle, and third corner coming up for Seattle. Rapinoe to take it. Fletcher with a header. And a goal kick for Boston.
Seattle just generating good chance after good chance after good chance. Just hoping that they're able to sort of knuckle down and get one of these to go.
Shepford moving forward, plowing into Barnes, no call. Cox ahead. Goebel heading it forward to LaRue, and LaRue offsides.
That is unfortunate. What a great ball by Stephanie Cox into Bev Goebel. And what a great job by Bev Goebel to nod that down in front of Sydney LaRue. That's exciting to see.
"30 seconds before we get to extra time. We'll see how much is added on. I would not think a lot. No injury issues here in the first half. Throw-in coming up for the Breakers. They would love to strike late on the road. Fletcher headed back in. Kyle offsides. So goal kick coming up for Hope Solo, former star here in Seattle at the University of Washington. And no added time for the first half. 45 minutes in the book, game one of the 2014 NWSL season for Seattle and Boston. And both teams will head to the locker room scoreless on this opening weekend of play in the National Women's Soccer League. First half impressions.
Well, early on, you saw the Breakers get a few chances, and obviously wanted to challenge the Reigns backline a little bit, see if they could serve some balls in, see if they could take advantage of the wind and the sun, maybe a little bit of uncertainty behind an inexperienced backline. But over time, the Reign managed to latch a hold of the game and started creating chance after chance after chance, using their pace, using their movement, using early balls in behind the backline to really put the Breakers under a tremendous amount of pressure. They just haven't been able to get the ball to go in the back of the net yet.
Megan Rapinoe finding the post, Joanna Lohman finding the crossbar. Both clubs had opportunities, but we are again scoreless after the first 45 minutes. We will take a bit of a break, and when we come back in just a few moments, we'll have a conversation with former Breaker and current Seattle Reign player Carmelina Moscato. Talk about her health as she rehabs from an injury. That is coming your way from Memorial Stadium in Seattle, Washington. Welcome back to Seattle. Boston and Seattle scoreless here at Memorial Stadium, and I think it's appropriate for our first halftime guest of the season. We have someone who knows a little bit about both teams and both cities. Carmelina Moscato, last season with the Breakers, now with the Seattle Reign, and unfortunately unable to play. Let's get the status of your injury and rehab and where all that is with you.
Yes, stress reaction in the right foot, 6 weeks out now, so everything's good to go. We've got the green light to progress and start to integrate this week, so it's really good news, and I can't wait, to be honest.
It's got to be tough sitting here watching the team you used to play for, the team you will be playing for, and the injury keeps you on the sideline.
Yeah, that's just it. It's taught me a bit of patience. Not that I needed to learn that, but definitely, yeah, it's hard to see, everybody out there and doing their thing, but it's also the most enjoyable thing to see a lot of my friends and close teammates and people doing their thing and actually looking quite good.
All right, break the first half down for us. What'd you see?
Yeah, I saw two pretty anxious teams. I saw, I think relative even to yesterday's start, it's a lot of people looking to be honest, try to put their strategies in place, but there's a lot of individuals, with nerves and such things. But I'd like to see the game calm down and really allow the tactics to come alive and players to shine a little bit more. But I thought it was an entertaining half, some good opportunities, and I think there's more to come.
What'd you know about Seattle and this Reign team before you found out you were going to be a player here?
They were on the way up. They had a team that was always willing to fight regardless of the situation that they were put in. I think results didn't go their way last year, but they were always trying to play a brand of soccer that was basically true to the game and pretty sophisticated with Laura there. And I always knew they were a very respectable squad.
Has it been unusual at all watching Boston, as an opponent for the first time?
I wouldn't say too much. I was there for a month and a half.
Yeah.
I didn't integrate too much, but a lot of girls and seeing. I did play with them, so of course I know what they're looking to do and the strengths and weaknesses of the squad. So in that regard, it's interesting.
Obviously, with these two clubs and really a lot of teams in the league, we've seen a lot of roster turnover. Not unexpected. Year 2 of a league. Franchises are trying to settle in. Players are trying to settle in. So I think what's really interesting, and you can address this better than I can, just teams trying to come together with all the new faces, and certainly a lot with your club.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about the offseason being so long and the preseason being so short. We get 4 weeks, it was really, maybe 5, to put a lot of pieces of the puzzle in place, and it'll come as the season goes on. Teams gain momentum. That's the plan for the Reign, and with Laura's master plan, and you can tell this is just going to take off.
Away from the soccer, the city of Seattle, your impressions, had you been here before?
No, just quick day trips, visits here and there. But I don't mean to be dramatic, but it's probably one of the happiest places I've been in a place in living, and I've only been here 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's something about this city that's pretty special. It reminds me of Vancouver, but is even more eclectic and different and diverse. And I'm finding quite a nice home here.
Well, if you like it in March and April, you'll love it in July and August when the weather really kicks in. Yeah. Carmelina, great to meet you. Thanks for coming by.
Too. Thank you.
And fast healing.
Thanks a lot.
It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Right.
Carmelina Moscato joining us here at halftime at Memorial Stadium in Seattle. It's the Reign and Breakers scoreless. We'll take a brief break and rejoin you shortly.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're good. We're gonna. And we are underway, second half at Moda Health Pitch, Memorial Stadium in Seattle. The Seattle Reign and Boston Breakers scoreless as we get the second 45 underway. Ball dangerously into the box right out of the gate. Kim Little. Rapinoe on the volley. Unable to put it on target, but a good early threat, David, for the Reign.
Absolutely. It's a bright early start with a lot of energy. See if he can catch the Breakers napping coming out of the locker room.
And Seattle hoping to take advantage. Seattle hoping to take advantage of the wind at their back here in the second half. Neither team making any lineup changes during the break. And Rapinoe is fouled by Joanna Lohman. Free kick coming up for the Reign.
The individual pace of the Reign players just seems to be a little bit much for the Breakers players, and as they go by, all the Breakers players seem to be able to do is to get a leg stuck out and bring the Reign players down.
Rapinoe switching it near touchline to Ellie Reed. Ellie giving it away. Kendall Fletcher. Reed with a touch to Fishlock.
It's a great turn by Jess.
Our sideline, that's Stephanie Cox to Rapinoe. Megan keeps it in. Trying to cut it back for Little.
It's a clever ball, a little too clever, I'm afraid, for Kim Little.
Schepfer. Sanderson to Heather O'Reilly. Working on Ellie Reed. Ball still in. Sanderson. Kaylin Kyle. Taken away by Little, and Kim Little trying to lead a counterattack for Seattle. 4v4 here. LaRue out to Rapinoe. The cross. And a handball is called. And that's against Courtney Jones. And Seattle will have a penalty kick coming up. Just an unfortunate bounce of the ball, it looked like, David, for Courtney Jones.
Well, it's a little unfortunate, but at the same time, the Reign is pushing the ball at the Breakers' backline, and the Breakers are having to retreat back up, and it puts her in an uncomfortable position as the ball comes into her. She's not able to gather herself and put a solid touch on it. That's what forces the ball to pop up and hit her in the arm. It's that initial speed from the Reign that actually put her under so much pressure that resulted in that handball.
Kim Little to take the penalty kick. Alyssa Nair in goal for Boston. And Little finds the net, and Seattle with the 1-0 lead here in the 49th minute in Seattle.
What a great way to start your NWSL career, with burying a penalty kick. So confident. She just steps up and smacks it into the left-hand side of the goal. Nothing Nair could do about that. And the Reign deservedly are up 1-0.
Terrific execution by Kim Little, who scores the first goal of the season for the Seattle Reign. Near touchline, that ball intended for Julie King. Throw in for Seattle. LaRue.
It's just got to feel so good for the Seattle Reign. I mean, what a difference from last year. Last year, starting the season with 3 games on the road. This year, they get 3 games at home. I think it took them
Kendall Fletcher.
several games to get their first lead.
Fighting with Whitehill. Bev Goebel in the mix. Here's O'Reilly. Heather O'Reilly working on Reed. Good help that time defensively from Lauren Barnes. And the ball going off of Goebel.
feels like the energy level just got turned up a little bit. They say goals change games, and this one certainly has gotten a little more electric since that ball went in the back of the net.
O'Reilly being harassed by Fishlock. Goebel. Last touch by Boston. Goebel ahead to LaRue. Sidney LaRue with some room and pace and power. The cross, Little. The hesitation, the shot, deflected over the crossbar by Alyssa Nair.
Another phenomenal save by Nair. Kim Little so composed in the box. Sidney LaRue does a great job to get her head up, find Kim Little, making that run through the middle of the box. Little takes a touch to her right, fires it, but Nair just comes up big again for the Breakers.
Very close to a 2-0 Seattle lead, very close to a second goal in this half by Kim Little. Rapinoe to take the corner. Kept in by Lohman. Throw in coming up for Seattle. Into Little. Fishlock ahead to Rapinoe. Good job that time by Courtney Jones defensively. Little gets it back. Kicked out by Molly Pathman. Cox. There's Little. Well, a good job by Little just to put a cross into that 6-yard box, but Nair right there.
The Reign are just really stressing the Breakers at this point, but Nair just settling things down, being that calming presence in the back that she needs to
Throwing
be.
coming up for the Reign. I need to take just a moment. Welcome to live streaming, everyone. If I can mention to our crew, I'm getting a lot of discussion coming into my ear. If we could get that out of my ear, that would be great. Thank you, guys. Ball out to Goebel. Nice spin move by Goebel. Numbers for Seattle. Looking to counter. Fletcher. In the direction of Little, but headed out by Avant. Now Sanderson. O'Reilly. And O'Reilly offside.
Bev Goebel's movement has been really, really good, but she is just so smart. I mean, she is that little hip turn to let that ball roll by her, put the defender on the wrong side of her, and get her head up and start running at the Breakers' back line, allowing Ellie Reed to come and overlap her. Just terrific. Subtle little stuff, but it's such a difference maker. And there she uses her strength to hold the defender off and get the foul called.
Fishlock quickly ahead to Little, who's onside. Little! The goal! What a play by the Reign, and what a finish by Kim Little as she gets her second goal. It comes in the 54th minute.
Well, Kim Little figuring if she can't beat Nair high, she's going to beat her low. Nair sees that Little could probably take her up over the top, goes up for the ball, and cool as you like, Kim Little just rolls it underneath her feet.
So Kim Little, member of the Scottish national team, the 2013 Player of the Year in the English Women's League, with 2 goals here in the second half, in Seattle with a 2-0 lead over the Boston Breakers.
That goal's a little unfortunate for Alyssa Nair. She's been so good. And she wound up looking a little silly on that. It's truly unfortunate because she's kept the Breakers in this game.
Headed by King. Ellie Reed and the ball taken away by O'Reilly. Reed committing the foul. Frustrated O'Reilly with the push on Reed. Might have more to do with the score, actually, than Ellie Reed. Certainly frustration right now for the Breakers. Find themselves in a 2-0 hole. Plenty of time, and you get that first goal if they can land one, and it changes everything.
Yeah, they're not going to like being down 2-0 to this Reign team, and really being kind of abused at the moment. They've got more pride than that. They're going to fight back here if they can.
Well, here's a dangerous situation. LaRue, there was an opportunity for a 2-on-1 break for Seattle. And we may see a card coming out for Julie King.
No question about that. She was well and truly beaten by LaRue. It's a desperation foul.
And check it, that goes against Courtney Jones, not King. So Jones picking up the second yellow card in this game for Boston, the first going to Jasmine Avant in the first half. Substitution coming on for Boston.
If that foul's another 10, 15 yards farther forward, that could have easily been a red card.
Molly Paffman checking out and coming on. Very dangerous player offensively. Lisa Devanna, member of the Australian national team, appeared in the 07 and 2011 World Cups, and Tom Durkin may be hoping she can provide a quick spark for his club in this 2-0 deficit they're facing.
Well, Devanna is one of the most dangerous forwards in the league, and I know they're counting on her to take up a lot of the slack from Sydney LaRue's leaving to come here to Seattle. But she had a long trip this earlier this week coming from Australia. Obviously, not fit to start.
Rapinoe. Jones with the defense for Boston, but Stephanie Cox with possession for Seattle. LaRue. Fishlock with some room. To Little. Overlapping is Reed. Fishlock shoots just wide to the left.
It's such a big difference for the Reign this year. I mean, they're winning the ball so much higher up the field, and it's allowing their players to get forward, allowing them to get numbers forward, and to play some of these really dangerous balls in the box, to get these overlapping runs, to have these diagonal runs through the box. It's just night and day from last year.
All back to Nair.
Nair calmly holding on to the ball, giving her team a chance to breathe just a little bit.
Winters and Sanderson battling, and then flying in is Julie King. Yellow card is out.
King was just out of control there.
And Keelan Winters is booked.
Yellow card caution given to number 11 of Reign FC, Keelan Winters.
A little surprised to see that foul go against Keelan Winters. She came in strong. King just came flying in and completely out of control. Wound up injuring herself on the play.
First yellow card issued to the Reign in this game. Sanderson to take the free kick. Punched out by Solo. And a throw-in coming up for Boston. Well done by Hope Solo.
Again, confident, tracking the ball the entire way. And if she's not confident, she can catch the ball. Does a good job of just keeping it going along the path that it was already on. Puts it out of bounds and lets the Reign gather themselves in front of her goal.
Barnes clears it out for Seattle. Jones will chase it down for Boston. Pressure from LaRue. Here's Goebel. Ahead to LaRue. She's onside. LaRue trying to play it back. I think she was trying to find Little. And ball deflecting off one of those breaker defenders. And they are able to scoop it up.
Yeah, that initial pressure by LaRue allows Goebel to get on top of the ball. Send Sydney LaRue in behind. Her first touch is just a little too big, and she can't get a hold of it in front of the goal, loses it. She tries to play it back for Kim Little running on.
O'Reilly fouled, free kick for the Breakers. Well, goal number one here, obviously, for both of these clubs. Get a victory today, get the 3 points. Seattle with a 2-0 lead would love also to register the first shutout in team history, and a good opportunity there by O'Reilly, and well played by Solo to prevent that from being a corner kick. Seattle unable to get a shutout in any match last season. So they would love, in terms of trying to build defensive confidence, David, get one recorded right out of the gate.
Absolutely. That would go a long way to putting them on the road to a successful season. It's going to weigh on you if you don't have the confidence that you're going to be able to keep the other team out of the net. It makes you press, and so it would just be a huge relief and give them just a huge shot of confidence.
Reed with a throw in. Fishlock. Barnes over to Stephanie Cox. Targeting Little. LaRue gains possession. Winner's a little poke ahead. Trying to connect with Goebel. It wins much less of a factor, it seems like, here in the second half. It's died down.
It's really, really slowed down, unfortunately for the Reign, but fortunately for the Breakers.
Reed with the defense, clearing it out.
You know, if the Reign are going to get that shutout, they're going to have to do a little bit better job of establishing pressure in midfield. Right now, the Breakers players are getting 2 and 3 touches, not under pressure, just letting them play forward. That's something that wasn't happening in the first half. In the first half, the Reign players were able to sort of choke off the midfield and not allow the Breakers players to play in. I think Lisa Devana working back underneath a little bit is causing a little bit of that.
Katie Schepfer leaving the match for Boston, and number 18, Maddie Evans, coming on. Evans played collegiately at Penn State. She was signed as a free agent by Boston last May, started 2 of the 11 games she appeared in 2013 for the Breakers. A Reign player shaken up. It's Kendall Fletcher, number 13. So Kendall receiving some attention. Seattle has not made a substitution up to this point in the match. So we are in the 64th minute. Both goals coming here in the second half by Kim Little. The first on a penalty kick. The second coming in the run of play. And Kendall Fletcher, under her own power, makes her way to the Seattle bench area. It looks like she'll be returning to the match here momentarily.
You can see her stretching her neck out a little bit. She might have just taken a little bit of a glancing blow off the jaw.
Foul on Bev Goebel.
Bev trying to use her body again to try and get the ball, get the defender turned, get the ball in behind, but unfortunately called for a foul this time around.
Bev on loan from Icon in Kobe, Japan, where she played with, among others, Naomi Kawasumi, who is also on this Reign roster. We may see her later in the second half, a member of the Japanese national team, an outstanding talent. She's going to be missing most of the month of May That's one reason why she's not starting today is Laura Harvey wants to figure out basically what will be the best combination once Naho rejoins the national team. So they want to try to get that figured out as best they can, and then obviously integrate her minutes into the roster as well.
We were talking about the difference between this year and last year. And last year, the Reign went on that long preseason trip to Japan that may have just worn them out before the season started. But they lost to Kobe Leonessa in that first preseason game.
Goebel, the targeted player, with the ball, feeds it back. Cox coming up from her defensive position into an attacking mode, and Stephanie Cox with the left foot just off target.
And here comes Kawasumi now, and so that may have just been enough to convince Laura Harvey that she needed a couple of players off of that Kobe Leonessa team. Bev Goebel and Homi Kawasumi coming to Seattle to play for the Reign now.
So Bev Goebel heading to the bench, and Nahomi Kawasumi coming on. Goes simply by Naho. Terrific passer last weekend in an exhibition against Seattle Pacific University. 5 assists in that game with 1 goal. Now certainly the competition not up to NWSL standards, but she really did get a great indication of her skill set in that game, and here she is.
Her strike rate of a goal every 2 games is phenomenal at club level. If she can replicate that here, Laura Harvey will have a big, big smile on her face.
She and Goebel in Japan were a terrific combination. Bev had 15 goals in 15 matches, winning the Golden Boot in Japan. Got 1 ball too many on the pitch right now, so one of the ball girls will take care of that. In the 68th minute, 2-0, Seattle with a lead on a pair of Kim Little goals, 1 a PK here in the second half. Kaylin Kyle.
It's good to see so many of the Reign's new additions having such bright starts. Whether it's Sydney LaRue running down a ball like she just did, or Bev Goebel getting on the ball and being able to turn defenders, or Kim Little getting 2 goals.
Sanderson. Devanna. Devanna trying to break down Kendall Fletcher, could not do it. Ball headed back by Whitehill, and then Jones playing it back to Naher.
You can see already what Lisa Devanna brings to a team. So much energy and industry. She's just working over the back line of the Seattle Reign.
Rapinoe and Little not on the same page that time after a terrific pass to get things going. It was Stephanie Cox that found Rapinoe on that far touchline. Rapinoe controls. Nice flick to Keelan Winters. And the Reign in attack mode right here. Winters with a nice move in the box. Blocked defensively, looked like it was Kat Whitehill. Seattle still with possession. Rapinoe, Cox.
If the Reign can get the ball in, Homi Kawasumi is sitting here on the back post, wide open.
Rapinoe didn't hit it cleanly. You can tell by she has such high expectations for herself. You can always tell with Megan's body language how she feels about things.
She wears it all on her sleeve, that's for sure. This is a team with some big personalities on it. Fortunately, most of them have played together either at the national team level or actually here in Seattle for a long time, so it doesn't seem to be much controversy or much trouble blending them. But when you have the likes of Megan Rapinoe and Jess Fishlock and Hope Solo and Sydney LaRue, it's good to see that they all work together as a functioning group.
Julie King back to Kyle. Cox ahead to LaRue. Seattle attempting a counter here. Naho. The cross. Oh, Rapinoe looking for the volley and just missed. That set up so nicely by Naho.
That is just phenomenal service from Naho. She gets the ball, looks up, strikes it one time, bends it cleanly into the path of Megan Rapinoe, just inching it by the outside back on that side. Brilliant ball.
Third and final substitution on for Boston as Joanna Lohman checks out. It's number 15, Bianca D'Agostino, who's come on. Nice recovery by Keelan Winters. Good ball by Solo, and LaRue was hoping to just flick that ahead to Rapinoe, unable to make that connection. And here's, the back heel to Rapinoe. Didn't work, but you got to love the entertainment value of it.
Well, it was a great first-time ball by Stephanie Cox, and Megan does the exact right thing, which is she slows up to try and freeze the defender to give her some space to run into, because she knew if she took a first touch that ball would be cut out. And by slowing down, her only way to then beat the defender with her first touch is to try and backheel it over her head. And she's got the confidence to play that ball.
Fishlock ahead to Rapinoe. See if she can get under this big bounce. She can. Here comes Little trailing. And the cross cleared out. Winters with a touch over to Cox.
A touch by Winters is so important, because if she doesn't get to that, the breakers are running at the
Naho
Seattle Reign.
Sets up LaRue, who was offside. He gave a great example of that vision by Naho and her ability to find the right player at the right time.
Yeah, you can see already that when she gets the ball, she's already looking up. She's already looking to play that ball diagonally. Reign player is going to find a lot of joy with the ball at her feet, being able to run in behind and get chance after chance after chance.
Fishlock playing it back to Solo. Devanna and Barnes clearing it out.
Again, Devanna coming back into the midfield to collect that ball and then running at the Seattle defense to try and freeze them in place so that other players can run off of her and generate chances. Something you didn't see in the first half from the Breakers.
D'Agostino battling, finding some room. Drops it off to Sanderson. What a good amount of power behind that shot, but a goal kick coming up for Hope Solo.
Well, the defender in that situation, all you try to do is try and turn the player with the ball backwards, and then Reign did that, forced her to play square, drop it back to Sanderson, and then Sanderson with a hopeful shot from distance.
Leanne Sanderson on the NWSL All-Second team last season. Had 7 assists, third best in the NWSL in 2013. And with the ball, also at last count the most active tweeter amongst the players in the league.
I didn't realize they kept that as a stat.
Somebody does. LaRue on the attack. Rapinoe. Nair out of goal. Little looking for the hat trick, denied. Laid out by Avant. Sanderson keeps it in. Seattle nearly getting a third goal, which would have likely sealed this game. Naho to Reed.
Between Kim Little and Jess Fishlock, I think there's enough energy to light up a small city, the way those two move around the field.
Non-stop effort. Cox to Rapinoe. Megan has room. Chip to Naho. Very nicely settling the ball. The shot. And a goal kick coming up for Boston.
And that's about the fourth or fifth time that Naho has drifted onto the far post and been completely unmarked when Megan Rapinoe finally finds her there and generates just an absolutely terrific chance. You can just see how smart she is. As the ball starts to swing out the other way, she just ghosts in towards the back post, completely unmarked.
King with the takeaway for Boston. Oh, nicely done by Keelan Winters. Seattle with an opportunity to counter. Here's Little. Ahead to Naho. The cross. LaRue. Jones got a head on it. Rapinoe. The shot. Off the crossbar and saved by Nair. I tell you what, it is a 180 from the offensive attack we saw from Seattle last season, David. They are so much better, so deeper. Well, in terms of players that can do some damage close to the goal.
They are feeling it right now. You can tell that they feel like they deserve another goal. Nair has got them absolutely frustrated. And they feel like if they can pour the energy forward, they feel like they've got another one coming.
LaRue to Little. Rapinoe looking for Fishlock. Well defended that time. Kat Whitehill. Here's Reed with room. Naho to her right. LaRue to her left. And a throw-in coming up for the Reign. Here in the 78th minute. So time running out on Boston. Down 2-0 on a pair of Kim Little goals. Fishlock. LaRue. They're going to go back to Fishlock that time. A little give and go. Well defended by the Breakers.
Breakers just haven't had an answer for Seattle's midfield. You see the defending being done from behind by the Breakers, which is always a precarious position to be in.
Last foul was against Seattle's Ellie Reed. Kat Whitehill looking to restart play. Maddie Evans. A little confusion in the back between LaRue and Solo, but Sydney clears it out. Whitehill ahead. Cox, nice touch up ahead to Rapinoe. A lot of room for Megan to work with here. Well defended by Kat Whitehill.
You're talking about the Reign wanting to have that first shutout. And so it's really encouraging to see Sydney LaRue back and defending in their own 18.
Evans. Defended by Fletcher.
not in the sense that you want your forwards defending inside the 18-yard box, but that work rate and that commitment to come back and defend is really going to be important.
For Sydney Leroux's put a lot of minutes in over the last 7 days with the national team.
Yeah.
Kyle.
For her to be working that hard in minute 80 is really, really important. It says a lot.
Ball deflected. Hope Solo directing traffic.
Well, the big question I think coming into this game was, which team's offensive additions was going to.
Rapinoe and Jasmine Avant. I'm mixing it up a little bit.
The big question was which team's offensive additions were going to get the better of the other team's inexperienced back line. And at least to this point, that question's been answered pretty definitively. Seattle players have looked really well integrated. Looked like they've been playing together for a while. Been able to break down the Boston.
Yellow card to Megan Rapinoe. Take a look at what happened right here. She didn't like how she was taken down by Avant, and you could see Megan used her legs to split Avant and drop her to the turf. So the yellow going to Megan Rapinoe. Each club with 2 bookings here in this match.
This game certainly has not lacked for entertainment.
Definitely not. Plenty of intensity here in this season opening match for both clubs. Fishlock. Well done by Nair. Headed by Reed.
And of course, it's the 5'3" player that nearly gets the flicked on header inside the 18-yard box.
Avant. And Megan Rapinoe taking that ball away. Leroux trailing. Rapinoe with the shot. Off the crossbar. Terrific strike by Megan Rapinoe, who hit a post in the first half off a deflection by Nair, and on that shot gets the crossbar.
But she's got to be wondering what she's got to do to get a goal at this point. I mean, she's hit some absolutely phenomenal strikes, just has not been able to get one to go.
Keelan Winters. And Seattle with the 2-goal lead. Certainly wouldn't have any issues to generate a little more possession, work that clock a little bit. Devanna up ahead. Played out by Fletcher.
Well,
Naho.
Especially with a player like Lisa Devanna running around.
Maddie Evans. And that'll be a corner coming up for Boston. I believe their first corner here in the second half.
Leading the game, number 8, Kim Little.
Kim Little is checking out after her 2 goals here in the second half, and what a debut for the Reign that she has made. She'll be replaced by Kate Dynas, so this is really swapping offense for defense coming on. And Dynas, the former Washington Husky, and what an outstanding debut it was, David, for Kim Little, the former star at Arsenal.
Yeah, her energy, her vision, her confidence on the ball have just made a tremendous amount of difference. Again, not only for what she does, but what she allows other players to do. She allowed Jessica Fishlock and Keelan Winters to sit in a little bit deeper and to protect the Reign backline a little bit. And that's just been tremendous. She's also been, speaking of defensive contributions, she's also enabled the Reign to hold the ball higher up the field more consistently, which in effect is a benefit to the defense because it starves the breakers of the ball.
Diners ahead to Fishlock. 4-on-3 for Seattle, ahead to Rapinoe. Naho on the far wing. There's LaRue. The shot directly at Melissa Nair. Seattle continuing to press forward here in the latter stages of this match with a 2-0 lead. So we're in the 86th minute. Off of Fletcher. Devanna. Flag is up. Offside Boston.
Well, it's good to see that the Reign players are getting numbers around the ball when Boston does get the ball through into the Seattle half. Reign are collecting 2 and 3 players in and around the ball, making it hard for the breakers to play through them.
Jones looking for Devanna. Sanderson getting ahead on it. A little strong on that touch. Lisa Devanna, goal kick coming up for Hope Solo. Well, Seattle just minutes away from getting its first victory of the season. Did not get its first win in 2013 until a 2-1 win at Boston. After opening the season winless in its first 10 matches. Ahead to Rapinoe. Rapinoe will score! From Fishlock, Megan Rapinoe. And that'll clinch it here for Seattle, the 3-0 lead.
Of all the quality strikes Megan's had today that have been tipped off the bar, she finally just gets to roll one in over the end line. And she manages to fight the ball through as Nair comes out off her line, can't pick the ball up.
Really an incredible play when you see her split 2 defenders and then just go right by Nair.
Absolutely. She has surprising speed. I don't think either one of the defenders expected her to catch up to him and expected Nair to get out to the ball just a little bit faster, and she's able to just step between the two of them. Like I said, roll it across the goal line.
So in the 88th minute, Megan Rapinoe strikes, 3-0, Seattle lead. Terrific home debut. The only question now will be, can the Reign secure the shutout?
Yeah, they need that concentration right now.
Goal kick coming up. Boston's next match will be its home opener 1 week from today. They'll host the brand new Houston Dash, the newest team in the NWSL, a club that lost yesterday to Portland 1-0 as the Thorns got off to a nice start in defense of their NWSL title. That kickoff will be 6:30 at Harvard Stadium for the Breakers' home opener against Houston.
And the Dash aren't going to be a pushover. They looked very good against the Thorns yesterday in the battle between the two NWSL teams that are associated with MLS sides.
Had a nice turnout for that game in Houston, over 8,097. Here comes LaRue. The drop to winners, out to Naho. Reign may not be satisfied with 3 as they push forward in search of a 4th goal. Good job defensively that time by the Breakers.
Well, it is still spring in Houston. Let's see how many they get in the middle of August.
Things will be heating up, no doubt. Sanderson, a touch ahead to Devanna. Evans with the overlap. Reed with the tackle and taken away by Winters.
2 minutes of extra time.
2 minutes of extra time.
Of stoppage time.
Also yesterday on the league's opening day, FC Kansas City and Sky Blue FC playing to a 1-1 draw. Amy Rodriguez, who did not play for Seattle last season due to pregnancy, did have the first goal of the season. And a former Reign player assisting on the lone Portland goal in that game at Houston, Jessica McDonald with a throw-in. And off of that throw-in, Allie Long with a header for the game, what turned out to be the game winner for the Thorns. Stephanie Cox being pressured by King. Nice job by Julie to keep that ball in after taking it away. Throw in for the Breakers.
Stephanie Cox is quietly, I don't know if quietly is the right word, but she's had a really, really good game.
Yeah. Kyle's ball taken away by Keelan Winters.
Stephanie's defended very well 1v1. She's gotten forward at times. She's played a couple of good long balls forward to try and catch the Breakers by surprise and try to utilize some of the speed of the Seattle front line.
Just about 30 seconds left in this match, if that. Solo with a goal kick. Or the kick out of the 18. Stephanie Cox. Lots of room for LaRue. Winters ahead to Naho. A quick touch to Ellie Reed. Seattle, one last push. Well done by Alyssa Nair, the positioning in goal for the Breakers.
Kawasumi recovers for Ellie Reed. Not only plays her the ball in to try and get that cross, but then recovers to give her the freedom to go forward again in the future.
And a successful debut as the whistle blows for the 2014 season for the Seattle Reign here at their new home, Memorial Stadium, getting the 3-0 victory over the Boston Breakers. Kim Little with 2 goals, the first a PK to get the scoring going here in the second half. And Megan Rapinoe with the 3rd goal for Seattle, as the Reign not only getting the victory to open the season, but David, the first shutout, the first clean sheet in franchise history.
That was really a complete game. Again, after the first 10 minutes or so, where it was sort of back and forth, the Reign really buckled down and took control of this game. Again, they were pressing really high up the field, and then they just utilized their speed and their dynamic movement to get players forward into the box and just pepper the Breakers' goal with shot after shot after shot.
Seattle's next game will be Wednesday, April 23rd. That will be here at Memorial Stadium against the Washington Spirit, to be followed 4 days after that, Sunday, April 27th, also here at Memorial Stadium against the Houston Dash. So really good opportunity for the Reign to put some points on the board early in this season. They get the 3 points with a victory today. And again, for the Breakers, their home opener 1 week from today against Houston, a 6:30 kickoff at Harvard Stadium. Impressions of the Breakers today: they hit the road. They flew out early yesterday. New coach, new faces. Solid first half. Had an opportunity by Joanna Lohman to win off the crossbar, but really didn't generate much of anything in the second half offensively.
Well, as said, I mean, they didn't really have a lot, anybody up front who was asking a lot of questions of the Reign's backline. They did some good things in midfield, getting the ball forward, created a few chances, but ultimately they didn't do anything that compromised the shape of the Reign backline. You could see when Lisa Devanna came on, she started dropping into midfield. She started asking questions of the Reign backline. Are you going to come with me? Are you going to come wide with me? Started finding a few holes, and they started generating a few more chances. But it just wasn't enough. It was a little too late.
3-0 the final, the Reign defeating the Boston Breakers in the season opener for both clubs. David, nice to have you alongside.
A pleasure as always, Tom.
Appreciate it. Leslie Gallimore, the head coach of the Washington Huskies, will be back in her analyst role for that next match on Wednesday, April 23rd. A very successful home opener for the Reign at their new home, Memorial Stadium, in the shadow of the Seattle Space Needle. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Again, for David Wharton, our entire crew, I'm Tom Glasgow. Again, your final score, first ever shutout victory for the Seattle Reign. They defeat the Breakers 3-0.